Okay, now to let you know that now to let you know that there there are diseases that connects to the brain like this preemptive strike, and it's a cruel but common outcome. A patient with lung cancer appears to be in complete remission, but then dies when the disease spreads when the disease spreads to the brain. Prophylactic radiation of the skull has been used for years in hopes of preventing or delaying the onset or attack of brain tumors. But its effectiveness was uncertain. A new analysis concludes that the therapy does bestow a small but significant survival advantage. Okay, now brain have stem cells. Now, what are stem cells? The stem cells found in an embryo are the body's primordial cells. They can grow into every kind of human tissue like bone, muscle, blood, and brain. And these kind of stem cells could could be used to clone humans. In principle, yes, but clones can already be created by splitting entire embryos early in development, and that's a lot easier to do. Cloning a fully developed adult cell. Remember, Dolly the sheep is much harder and raises more ethical tissues. In an event, if you wanted to clone Michael Jordan, cells from an embryo would help you. Good news on Parkinson's. Scientists report a promising new treatment for Parkinson's disease. A study of advanced and even bedridden cases shows that electrically stimulating the brain with implanted electrodes reduces symptoms dramatically. Indeed, most patients who underwent the procedure were well enough to perform everyday tasks again, even while cutting back on their medication. And brain have what has what we call gray matter. gray matter that is active. And to inform you that by this century, doctors had learned how to map the brain by measuring the blood flow during certain functions. Doctors found that brain easily soak up a synthetic radioactive substance called technetium. The rate at which technetium was the most direct indicator of organs' level of functioning is the quantity of oxygen it is using. The advent of imaging in the 1970s made it possible to measure oxygen use. This technique was first used to detect tumors, blood clots in the brain, and black blood black black blood vessels. It has since been refined to indicate brain function and oxygen use in various parts of the brain. Another method called BOLD or BOLD can identify which parts of the brain are responsible for movement and sensation. It has been used to study perception, cognition, language, and behavior. Says Seto, a small number of centers in Asia can offer these procedures. Kyoto, Osaka, and Jutendo University in Japan. And these advanced brain scans will lead to new treatments. And then about memory lapses may be normal or a sign of Alzheimer's. Ever spent half an hour looking for your car case or walk into a room only to wonder what you were looking for or forgotten what day of the week it is? Not to worry, occasionally memory lapses are normal and not, as you might secretly fear, an early sign of Alzheimer's disease. Still, it's sometimes difficult even for doctors to recognize where normal forgetfulness stops and more serious memory problem begins. In the brain, there are what we call inactive tissue, damaged by dementia.